spent roughly the last, I don't know, 10 years, even back when Obama was president, attacking white men. So why in the world did you guys think that this little rollout was going to work?
Ladies and gentlemen, I feel like the panic is setting in. While Donald Trump is now winning in the battleground states, the Lincoln Project is begging people to vote for a woman. Yo, this is funny. I warned about this. And the left, they get so mad. They yell at me. They say, Tim, you sexist. Me, I'm not a sexist. I'd vote for a lady Donald Trump any day. My issue is, as I brought up, I believe there are many people, probably older Democrats especially, who will not vote for a woman.
Brain. This might be the first campaign ad that actually loses votes. If you do your own research and come to the conclusion that you should vote for Harris, I don't even know what to tell you. Facts. I mean, that's what this basically comes down to, right? It's the same people where it's like, do your own research. When people criticize Kamala Harris's identity, they say, well, I don't know if Kamala Harris is black. Well, do your own research. And I'm like, well, if you do your own research, I'm not sure how you can come to the conclusion that Kamala Harris is black. Again, it's just funny how that works.
Before we get started, I want you guys to go ahead and know this. There's going to be a why, as in why are they really and truly doing this towards the end of the video? Because to me, it looks like this campaign is lost. But trust me, at the very end of the video, you will see why it is that they're doing this. And of course, they're failing at it, which is absolutely hilarious. And I'll explain why, but also why they're actually doing it. So make sure you guys stick around. And while it is that I only provided a little bit from Tim Pool there and Greg Foreman, yeah, this right here absolutely fell apart for these people, and quite frankly, deservedly so. So let's talk a little bit about white dudes for Harris. Now, before we get started, you guys know me. I love to try to put the video or at least the channel link to other content creators in the description box. So obviously I'm going to be putting the links to the video stream that Tim did on this, and obviously the video that Greg Foreman did on this, and also the link to the video that Sean Fitzgerald did on this, because he made one that I just saw this morning where he made a lot of points that nobody thought about, and I'm going to kind of sort of reiterate some of those while at the same time adding some of my own points that nobody's thinking about, because obviously there are some things here that nobody actually considered. But also to go on top of this right here, yeah, there's also going to be a video that I posted at 3 o'clock and probably the 12 o'clock video, because I decided to make 3 today for some odd reason. At the very end of the video, I advise you guys check them out. Of course, that second video is about why it is that celebrities sell out. And of course, you're seeing some of these celebrities right now who turned out to be absolute sellouts here in the B-roll footage. So White Dudes for Harris was an initiative that the Kamala Harris campaign chose to spend $10 million on in an ad run, which included celebrities such as Mark Hamill, Jeff Bridges, Brad Whitford, whose last role I think was the movie Get Out. The main role that I remember Brad Whitford for was his role in the show Shameless Season 3, possibly my favorite episode, the funniest episode in the entire series, the one where Frank, played by William H. Macy, if you've seen Shameless, then you know he chose to do the gay grift, and then all of a sudden he decided to play the gay grift against the gay grift by going to the Christian grift, of course, to prove that conversion therapy worked. It was an absolutely hilarious episode, but still at the same time, though, lots and lots of soy in these men when it comes to their real life lives. And of course, there's the project, the Lincoln Project video that featured Sam Elliott's voiceover, who, by the way, he did this before. I talk about that in great detail in the previous video that I did, so don't worry, we'll probably rehashing some of that as well. Still, though, make sure you guys please go ahead and cut the notifications on for the channel. Please go ahead and hit the like button for the algorithm. Also, if you guys can, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Let's go ahead and make this channel a little bit bigger, and let's go ahead and go into this. So this right here absolutely failed. Upon the time that they released the video, as of yesterday, I haven't gone back and double checked, they had gotten absolutely ratio, roughly 10 dislikes to one actual like. And the comment section was absolutely hilarious, which is something that Greg Foreman was reading a little bit of there at the very beginning of the video, which I'll play the rest of it here in a second. But of course, I'm going to save that more for the end, because this video right here actually does the exact opposite. It actually works to send undecided male voters to Trump rather than Kamala Harris. Now, when men see the D-list actors or B-list actors that you guys saw in the B-roll footage, they're not surprised that these people are, in fact, supporting the Democratic Party nominee. People know that Hollywood is bought and paid for. I talked about this even with the B, C, and D-list celebrities in the 3 o'clock video. Even actors with actual cult followings, as in like cult classic type followings, they look at this and they say, nah, I'm not going to do what is this guy's going to say, because people know that celebrities don't pay the bills. However, when you see a man like this here,
yeah, for far too long, the left has essentially ceded white men to the MAGA right. And a thing that we know is that most men, especially most white men, aren't actually MAGA supporters. And so we decided that we wanted to create space for white men.
Chances are you as a man know that there's a masculinity problem in this country. And of course, testosterone levels in this nation are way down. That, of course, we probably don't want to vote for the party that's been insulting men ever since Barack Obama was in office. Seriously, go back to the Obama days. These people were insulting white men then. They were insulting men as a whole. It just happened to be a little bit more spread out over the time that Trump was in office. This is who these people are. It's an extremely effeminate party, or as James Carville had said, there's way too many preachy females. Of course, James Carville was going back to being a Democratic Party surrogate, sticking with Harris, all that type of crap there. But of course, what he's been saying about her getting cut and actually losing the race and not doing so well is probably what he really and truly feels deep down inside as a political analyst. The fact of the matter is this right here. This initiative absolutely failed, and it was going to fail. But let's go ahead and get to why it is going to fail. So you guys know me. I love to play the clips. I love to play people responding, reacting, giving you guys the news, this, that, and the other. And I think it's time that I go ahead and break down why it is this venture has already failed and why it will only get worse for these people. Let's go ahead and roll this.
We talked about last week. This one's so good. I mean good as in it makes you laugh at how cringe it is.
Hey, white dudes. So I think we're all pretty sick of hearing how much we suck. Every time you go online, it's the same story. We're the problem. And yeah, some white dudes are.
I love that.
Trump and all his MAGA buddies are out there making it worse.
Wait. All his MAGA buddies, those are women. I thought it was about white dudes sucking.
Shouting nonsense in their stupid red hats and acting like they speak for us when they don't. All they've ever done is screw us over. But if you're not on the MAGA train, where do you go? Isn't it just swapping out one crappy option for another? Then it hit me.
Okay, now let me go ahead and point something out right off the bat that none of these content creators mentioned. Besides the fact that they've got two women in an ad that obviously talks about white dudes for Harris and how it is that MAGA men are just god-awful. And of course, there's also more to this ad that I'll be playing for you guys in a second, but I wanted to play the reactionary portion first and then come back to the full ad once again here in a minute. There's something that nobody pointed out, and I'm going to go ahead and say it. The accent that's being used, which of course will come back up a little bit later on this video, is a bit of a hybrid of what it sounds like to me of a New York, New Jersey, and even possibly a Boston accent. Do these idiots not have the actual awareness to realize that there was actually a study that was conducted back in 2023 that was reported on by the New York Daily News? Not only the New York Daily News, but several other news outlets reported on this. Take a wild guess at what accent in America was voted to be the least attractive accent. Most annoying too. The New York accent. Now, real quick, I don't want to offend my New York subscribers, but this was an actual study that was released, so you're already batting 1,000 as far as the content, as far as the category of being annoying. The sexiest accent was actually voted to be the Texas accent. Then I want to say the Southeastern Southerner accent was voted somewhere towards the top. Me, of course, I have the more Southeastern Southerner accent, seeing how it is that I'm from North Carolina. But basically the point is this right here. You're already starting off on the wrong foot. If you had actually wanted to appeal to men, then you probably would have done what the Lincoln Project did when it comes to Sam Elliott. But don't worry, I talked about why this effort will not work. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and roll this clip here, and then I'll come back to white dudes for Harris.
Problem. The real problem. And I'll play for you the cringe-inducing ad because if I have to watch it, so do you. But we'll talk about it.
I can't believe we're having this conversation again. So here we go. You know who the candidates are. You know what's at stake. One candidate promises a divided America filled with lies and hate. And one stands for change. Kamala Harris has more courage, more honor, more guts than this guy ever had. So you decide, are we really going back down that same fucking broken road, or are we moving forward?
Yeah, you caught the F word there. Yeah, that right there is just not going to go over well with common, ordinary voters who are probably on the fence, who probably want to have somebody, I don't know, somebody that's not currently in office right now, because Kamala Harris, of course, is the vice president of the United States. So therefore, everything that's gone wrong kind of transfers to her, and people, quite frankly, know this. But let us continue.
And the time for change is now. So what the hell are you waiting for? Because if it's the woman thing, it's time to get over that. It's time for hope, for change. It's time to be a man and vote for a woman.
Be a man, vote for a
What are
woman.
you waiting for? Because if it's the woman thing, it's time to get over that. It's time for hope, for change. It's time to be a man and vote for a woman.
Oh my God. Is it the internals really that bad, Lincoln Project? Kamala Harris, they must be seeing that guys are like, I ain't voting for a woman. So they literally get Sam Elliott, cowboy guy, to be like, it's time to effing stand up and vote for a woman to be a man. Yeah, be a man, vote for a woman. Oh,
Prove you're a man and vote for a woman. Yeah, that right there is a real winning strategy, especially after they've been attacking you for roughly the last 10 to 15 years, which is what you'll hear me say over and over and over again over the course of this video. Okay, now you guys obviously heard all that there. I could sit here and I could give rebuttals and all that type of stuff there. I could talk about how it is that, once again, this right here is a political party that has spent the better part of like the last 10 to 15 years attacking white men, and why it is that white men are absolutely fed up with this. But of course, there is one more caveat. Now, guys, you saw roughly 20 seconds of the white dudes for Harris ad. And of course, you saw it through Tim Pool, because Tim Pool, of course, he commented on this and basically laughed at it. Let me show you the other half and show you the other reasons why it is that this right here is not working.
Go. Isn't it just swapping out one crappy option for another? Then it hit me. This isn't about picking teams. It's about who's got a plan that's gonna make life better for me and my family. So I've been doing my own research and decided to check out Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. And before you jump down my throat, they're actually talking to guys like us. No lectures, no BS. Just real solutions that protect our freedoms and help us take care of the people who matter. And honestly, I think Harris and Walz are the ones to make that happen. End of the day, you're your own man. It's your call. But if anyone gives you crap about it, tell them it's none of their
damn. Wrong with the rest of that ad that I really and truly don't know where to start. All these people do is lecture. All these people do is BS you. All these people do is gaslight you. And the vast majority of men know this because they've been the ones that have been getting attacked by the Democratic Party and people like Kamala Harris for the past 10 to 15 years, as you guys will hear me say over and over again. Like I said, there's a lot wrong with this. Also, something else too, the whole, I did my own research. That's the type of crap that actually drives men absolutely insane, because they'll see it on the news, look at it, and then they have to tell somebody to do their own research, because they're normally talking to somebody who's not done their own research, and the person refuses to do their own research. It happens with liberals all the time. It's almost like they're trying to suddenly be conservatives. It's absolutely a hilarious fail. There's also something else, too, to consider, is that Tim Walz, Vice President, or the VP Harris, which is also else that's funny, too, because if you call Kamala Harris, they call you racist because you intentionally got her name wrong. Even though Kamala actually sounds more black than the actual pronunciation of her name, Kamala or Kumala, which is what Vivek Ramaswamy says, the Indian version. It's kind of funny how these people operate. I mean, it's absolutely hilarious. There is a bigger problem with this ad that I'll mention here in a second, but the thing is this right here. There's a lot wrong with this ad from start to finish. It's actually, quite frankly, hilarious. And as I mentioned before, the accent, the New York type accent, which of course most people believe is absolutely annoying, has been voted on. Panels of women have said this. I understand they have subscribers from New York and New Jersey, may get upset about this, but the fact of the matter is, the study is the study. The men that the left tend to attract are already effeminate in nature. So there's a lot about this ad that just doesn't make any sense. And by the way, they haven't been talking to white guys. They've been attacking white guys for years. So do you really and truly think that the person that you attack every day is eventually going to support you? No, they're not going to give a crap about you, not one damn bit. Now, one more very important thing. That thing at the very, very end, tell people it's none of your damn business. There was a study that was done by the Cato Institute a few years ago that basically stated that liberals, especially left-leaning men, were more willing to share their political beliefs, whereas people on the middle and people on the Trump side of the aisle, more conservative side of the aisle, were not wanting to do this. I recall working a construction gig, and every morning I got hit by the same single person, not physically, with Trump, Putin, BS, all that type of crap there. And of course, you run these guys in a small town a little bit later on. Just only like 2 people on the entire crew of like 12 people who did this. I'm pretty sure you guys can kind of sort of figure out what it is. Now, I still got along with these people throughout the day, and I never actually mentioned that I was a Trump voter. But of course, they seize on the opportunity to try to annoy people with their political beliefs. That's who the hell these people are. That's who these voters are, and they have no actual self-awareness. They don't seem to care because they obviously know there's not going to be any accountability put their way. They can always say, you fired me over my political beliefs. Basically what it is that liberals are allowed to speak and conservatives are not. So that little last sentiment there about it's none of your damn business is probably going to turn more and more people towards Trump, because guess what? It's typically the Trump voters and conservative voters who are the ones that are hamstrung by the system. These people obviously know this, and these are the people who are attacked the most over their political beliefs. I can give you another story of an individual that I know who had to hold his beliefs because he worked in an office full of black people, and of course he could not say anything that he wanted. Back in 2016, he had to hear the Hillary nonsense over and over and over again, and in 2020 he had to hear the orange man bad nonsense over and over and over again. The fact of the matter is, as conservatives who've got to keep their mouths closed when around other people out of fear of persecution by the left. And conservatives, by the way, are starting to wake up to this and starting not to care, because they realize that orange man bad, you're a racist and all that crap there, and you're a bigoted white male, is something that these people are quite frankly used to, so they're going to go in there and they're going to vote the opposite. However, I did say that there was a reason for this, a reason why, and here's the reason why. They're actually hurting with women. Yes, they're actually hurting with women. Guys, I talked about this in a previous video. Talked about this. It was a video that I did on Umar Johnson and how it was that he was wrong in a couple of areas when it comes to women. He had some misconceptions, which I may try to link that video in the description box as well. But Kamala Harris needs to get over 60% of women to win this election at the rate that men are voting. And you see, a lot of these married men are carrying their wives to vote with them, and they're voting with them. You see, the Democratic Party thinks that women only care about abortion and abortion alone. Back in 2022, many people blame what happened with the Republicans on Roe v. Wade being overturned, when in reality, I could argue that what really happened was not so much Roe v. Wade, it was the fact that Lindsey Graham's dumbass decided to bring up a 15-week abortion ban, but I don't think that moved the needle any more than it was going to. I think what really killed Republicans was people chose not to vote for them at the last moment, because they once again, before Election Day, stuck a knife in their voters' backs when they agreed to an extremely bad budget that the Democrats proposed. Let me give you a good example of what I mean. I want you to imagine that you're a fly on the wall inside of a beauty salon full of women for a second. I want you to just kind of imagine this. And no, I don't know everything about women. I'm just simply telling you what the conversation is. You got a bunch of old white women mixed in with some young white women, and maybe even some black women too. Maybe that happens there too as well. But the thing is this right here. They're having conversations about their finances, their kids, and what they're going to do, talking about grandchildren, all that type of stuff there. But when the conversation does turn, let's just say the abortion does come up. It normally comes up in the sense of, girl, is she pregnant again? Well, she's thinking about getting an abortion. You know what? She has a really, really bad habit of sleeping around. Oh, don't talk about my daughter like that. Well, she should keep her legs closed. The truth be told is, abortion is an option that women want to have, but not every single woman in the world goes out of her way to want to get an abortion. I'm sorry, that's the actual truth of the matter. If it makes me sound like a simp, then go ahead and call me that there. I really truly don't care. I'm talking about being around women my entire life. And yes, there are women out there who want to use abortion as birth control. And I think if you were actually able to say, in order for you to get an abortion, you have to actually have a legitimate reason, a legitimate concern for it, I believe that would actually eliminate roughly 90% of the abortion in this country. I say change the culture first before changing the laws, because the law was just the end point to how the culture has changed. The thing is this right here. Women, for the most part, are thinking about other things outside of getting knocked up, getting pregnant, and then removing the baby or killing the baby. Women are thinking about more than that there. Like I said, it's actually very, very judgmental, or actually nobody is a harsher judge on women than other women. She gets pregnant, she gets an abortion, other women actually look down upon that. Yes, there's going to be one who's going to be empathetic, or maybe even be sympathetic, but still, though, the woman who's being sympathetic or empathetic is also at the exact same time saying to that woman, you really need to stop sleeping around. Basically, they have to find a new route of voters, and of course, they're relying on single men. They think that every single man out there is a soy boy, which there are some. There are some dumbasses who will fall for this, but that's basically what they're doing. But like I said before, married men are definitely going to go to Trump in droves. They're going to carry their wives, and of course, like I said before, hey, they're losing women. That's the real reason why they're doing this. That right there is the real truth of the matter. You see, Donald Trump got 52% of white women, which, by the way, makes up the largest portion of the women electorate. Then he got 55% in 2020. He looks to me like he's probably going to get a much, much higher percentage. Like I said before, these polls are not exactly accurate. He's probably looking at 57, 58%. Kamala Harris can't overcome that. And then on top of that, when you add 12 to 13% of black women and probably 33% of, Hispanic women and other in the race category, and then given the fact that, oh, yeah, that right there is correct, you just had a Democrat Party mayor in Michigan who's a Muslim endorse Donald Trump. Yeah, you're going to need to find a way to get additional votes somewhere else. However, let's let the comment section explain why this right here is failing.
Yeah, this is just straight up white identity politics. That's what it is. Again, would never be acceptable for the GOP. Never. They would never allow the GOP to get away with this, right? But Democrats, though, they can do white identity politics and it's fine. It's totally okay. Quote, hey, ChatGPT, can you write a script for white dudes to vote for Kamala Harris, but also don't use too much effort because I'm low on data? Some Kamala intern who made this the night before it was due. Why don't they just make an ad that says we just don't want men voting for us? At least it would be honest facts. They don't want men voting for them, right? The Democrat Party is not a party for men, not straight males. Okay, maybe, again, if you're not straight, if you have low testosterone, okay, fine, I can see it. But not for any straight male with normal T. Like, it's just not a party for real men, right? It's just not. It is what it is. Oh, please, please, please air this ad as much as possible for Election Day. Facts. Facts. I love it. I wasn't going to vote for either candidate, but after watching this ad, I'm voting for Trump.
That right there to me was absolutely hilarious. Like I said, I'll link that video in the description box. But as you guys can see, this right here is something that, quite frankly, these people did not consider. You know, it's funny, too, because in Sean Fitzgeralds' video on this, he talked about how it is that diversity actually worked against them in this because you have diversity of thought, but yet you have no actual white men in the room talking about white men's issues. And the ones that you do bring in are the ones that look like the guy I showed you earlier with the top knot and the soy look and all that type of stuff there. These right here are not men who are respected. The fact of the matter is, this right here failed and failed tremendously. And it will continue to fail because you will probably just see more men do what? Vote for Trump out of spite for this nonsense. Look, you've spent the better part of 10 to 15 years attacking the literal hell out of white men. What do you expect these white guys to do? Actually vote for the orator, the person who spends more time, or the party who spends more and more time attacking them? No, that is not what the hell is going to happen. Yes, there is some Trump fatigue out there among some Trump male voters, but this type of ad right here will send them right back to Donald Trump. So, once again, great job, lefties. But you guys send what you think in the comment section. Please hit the like button, subscribe, share the video, sign off in the comments, and I shall see you guys later.